Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Afron Framble and this is my first ever video on music topics. In this series I will talk about music, but understand that this may not be quite what you think. In this day and age, when people think about the broad term music, we're only thinking about, at the most, 100 years of American or American-influenced music, with little or no regard to the rich history and complex tonal background that got us to what we hear on the radio today. That may partly be because we're kind of ethnocentric as a country, and we're kind of history blind in some ways. We only think about what's relevant to us today, and especially generations now don't really imagine a world without us. But as far as music used to be so much more tonally complex. Considering what we conceive of under the blanket term classical music, some music scholars and theorists might go as far as to say, I can't speak for them, but I would imagine they would say tonality today is dumbed down in pop music and a mere shadow of what it used to be. Not all cases, but in general. If you turn on the radio, the first song you hear might have only 4 chords in it, give or take. Maybe a big cheesy modulation, but for the most part, it's predictable. And the lyrics are how people identify a song. And the melody, harmony, and instrumentation is really all secondary to assist the delivery of the poetry. If you're listening to, say, a Bach fugue, one of 3 things may happen. First, you may be enthralled and delighted by the quick tonal shifts that happen as frequently as once or twice every measure, setting up dissonance and then resolving it with consonance, or subverting expectations by chords you're not expecting. But if you're not used to it, or you don't typically listen to classical music, it's actually Baroque, but I'll just quote classical, your ears and brain may not understand what's going on. You may label it beautiful simply because you think others think it's beautiful, but you don't want to let on that you just don't get it. Believe me, you're not alone, and you're in the vast majority. But lastly, the third type of listener, unfortunately, may get so bored and turned off from all the noise that's going on that they just simply dismiss it outright. They just say it's classical music, I'm not interested, and they don't even want to give it a complete listen all the way through. To each their own, but I think even if you're not interested in something, it might be worth just at least listening to it once to decide completely that you don't like it. I must admit, though, I'm still somewhere between the first and the second category. I've even learned a Bach fugue or 2 on the piano, and I still have to break it down to every beat to understand what's truly going on, with the dissonance to resolution, some of which can pass quickly without my even being aware that it occurred. Now, I'm talking about the father of Baroque, and even within his own time, he was pushing the barriers of traditional composition. If you were a music student of that age and practicing composition, there were specific rules you needed to follow, and you didn't deviate from those rules. Bach not only mastered the art of fugue writing, he wrote the book on it, quite literally. With the Well-Tempered Clavier, a grand work in 2 volumes, he even proved once and for all that you could transpose any piece into any key because of the relations from one note to another. Even scientifically, we now understand if you play a note exactly 1 octave up from another, a C to a C, for example, you double the frequency. And each of the 11 notes in between are evenly divided in terms of frequency. But I've seriously digressed and traveled down the rabbit hole. This video is supposed to be an introduction of what the section of my channel would be. By now, if you're still here, you have an idea of what topics I might cover. So this music history, or just general music topic, along with practicing music, teaching music, expression, maybe even deviating to related topics like vocal diction and the International Phonetic Alphabet, opera breakdowns, whatever. Who knows what we'll get into here. Now, I want to say that though I went to school for this stuff, there are many areas where I may not have the answer to a question, or I might just be speculating, but we all make mistakes. And that's what the comment section is for, partly. The purpose is that we have a discussion. I bring up a topic, And if this intrigues you or you have something to say about it, by all means, this channel is small enough where it could even be a conversation between you and me. And I miss the good old-fashioned friendly discourse about music played by and for men in powdered wigs. So please like, subscribe, and click that glockenspiel and be prepared to learn together. Thanks for watching. Actually, it's probably more of a cowbell. No, it's not shaped like a cowbell.